It is February 22nd, and crypto has just been doing this. Boom, boom, boom. We've been stuck in a range, and that range on Ethereum. I'm going to talk about Ethereum first because it is my most aggressive trade at the moment. I've been playing the range up and down, and it's almost looking as if I need to at least close this trade out yet again because we are hitting the infamous resistance right around $3,000. Very simple to draw to see what's going on. We've got the halving that is coming up, which is the biggest thing. We've got the Feds that are going to talk next month as well. So the stock market is heating up with a potential rate cut where we're pretty much thinking that at least the consensus is there is not going to be a rate cut. There's not going to be a rate cut until June. And that's when really the crypto markets and stock market is going to take off, because as soon as rates are cut, then it's telling everybody, hey, you're able to now borrow money and put in the market to make more money. So if I'm looking at the chart right here, we're just in that little range. The only thing that looks concerning on the 4-hour for me is this potential double top. And if we get that potential double top and we break below the 2,900 range, well, we could see a dip really realistically down to 27, maybe a little bit lower than that before we bounce up. That wouldn't be horrible. I definitely want to be a part of the bounce when this happens to buy into some weakness if that happens. But really, where we've been going is we've been bouncing off the 20-day moving average. Every time the 20-day moving average has been hit, boom, and been crossed, boom. We get the small little pullback here. This was to just the 9-day, and when we get that dip, it's gone up. And right now, we're really right around that 9 and 20-day dip here. The red line is the 200-day, which we're not going to hit that again for a while on at least the 4-hour. If I move that to a little bit more of a day range, we've been bouncing right off the 9-day. Every time we've touched the 9-day, it's gone boom, boom, boom. And right now we have touched the 9-day, and we're waiting for a catapulsion where it's just goes, I wouldn't say to the moon, but we've got definitely some resistance right around the 3,100, because if I go to the weekly here, that is the range that we're stuck in right now. This is just a wall. Eventually, it's going to break through, but we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive weeks potentially of a green candle, and we'd have to break below that 2,800 to get the sucker to get red. So I'm not worried if in fact it happens, and that's really the only reason as to why I feel potentially needing to close out on this guy. I've got some other trades on some different platforms because it's always nice to diversify. For Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're not near as high leverage. I leverage about 10 on those guys. Those are a little bit more long term, and so I've got quite a bit more money played up in those suckers than what I'm risking right here. And if I look at Bitcoin earlier this morning, we broke through the $52,000 range, and now we're just sitting back in the range. But we have found support, and we're pretty much bouncing right off of support again. Yes, it is on that 9-day. If I'm looking towards the 4-hour, well, the 4-hour, we can see we've been in a much bigger range bound for a while. And truthfully, the real support is right around that 50,000. So every time we've gone down there, I've added a little bit to the position, but I'm waiting for a break out of this, because if you've been following me, my breakout is really right around the $59,000 mark, which I am guessing we are going to hit by the halving in April. So we've got a full month to go yet another $8,000 up. And so I'm just waiting for the big spring load, the just big bounce. Because here, if I want to, look at some Bollinger Bands to see whether or not it is looking like we're trying to bounce, at least on the 4-hour. We've squeezed enough on the 4-hour, but the longer time frames we have not yet. None of this has caught back up. We're still in a big range. So it's happening, but it might happen a little bit slower than what I'm presuming. However, my price targets for before the halving is 3,500 Ethereum, 3,300 to 3,500. That's really I'll start taking profits at 3,300. And for Bitcoin is right around that 56 to 59,000. This is Johnny Crypto. I'm here to help you guys make some money. And remember, buy into weakness. And right now we do have a pin bar candle on the 4-hour and daily, which is showing you that, hey, buyers are wanting to purchase this and get price to go up. And we just have a small little wall right now, but we have support and we're hovering right above that support. So for me, this is a fairly good entry point. If not, you definitely want to wait till potentially maybe a kiss of the 48,000 or at least under 50,000